Hi everyone, my name's Natalie and we have just got back from a stay at Butlins Skegness. We went from Monday to Friday, and because there was 11 of us visiting, we booked gold apartment and then we also booked the silver rooms. So we'll start off with the gold apartment. That was £601 for Monday to Friday, but it was £278 for the apartment itself. The rest was the food court dining. For the silver rooms, it was only £99 for the Monday to Friday, and the rest of it was for the food court. This video is going to talk about the good and the bad. We'll just start off with the bad. There's not much to go by. It's just the accommodation. So we'll start off in the gold one. In the gold apartment, it was quite good. Outside is run down. You'll see that in a minute. And it does need a paint outside. But with so many people going through it, I suppose you just expect it to be a little bit tired. The sink, you might have seen the sink before. The kitchen just needed a scrub, and that's fine. We took the antibacterial spray as we sort of anticipated that from videos that we had seen. And the flashing light, it's just a storage cupboard, so it didn't matter. The double bed did seem to be two single beds pushed together, but overall I was pleasantly surprised because I'd seen quite a lot of videos where it had been quite a lot worse. We seem to have, maybe we got a good one. Outside, it does look very tired, but they were actively trying to fix it while we were there. So there was lots of people out there painting it. These wooden beams, they were reinforcing those with metal parts. And every single time that we came back to the apartment, there was people there trying to fix that. So hopefully that's going to get a bit better. Again, it's weathered. Quite a lot of the buildings, you can tell that they need a bit of a refurb, like here, but it's next to the sea and it doesn't affect what's inside. This little area here, as you can see, there's patio doors. We had obviously booked a ground floor. We paid £15 extra to get a ground floor apartment as Sia is in the wheelchair, so we knew that we were going to need that. And this little area here outside is quite nice for the kids to go out and play when we do come back to the apartment. And they were fairly quiet. I was a bit worried. I'd seen that they could be quite noisy, but it was just lots of families around us, so it never got too loud. Even at night time with everyone coming back, there was a couple of occasions, obviously, maybe people have a little bit more to drink and they're a little bit loud, but that tends to only happen for 10 minutes or so while they are going into the apartments. The biggest letdown in the apartments was the sofas. This is them right here. As you can see, they're stained. It did seem to be a lot more when you're actually there. We ended up putting a sheet over it as it was quite bad. Next up are the silver apartments. We had 4 people in here. There just wasn't anywhere big enough for all of us. This was obviously the cheapest option, was to do the gold apartments and then the silver rooms, and then everybody from the silver rooms came to the gold apartment and only actually slept here at night time. So the main thing in here, we knew it was just going to be rooms. There isn't any living area when you go into these ones, but I don't know if you can see there, the bathroom floor didn't look like it had been cleaned. It was extremely sticky. The children and Mark couldn't even go into that to use the toilet because of it. They do leave a number that you can text, and I think you can ring it as well. There's a different number to ring, and we did ask them to come and clean it, but they never came to do that. If we only had the rooms, I think I would have pushed a little bit more for them to come and do that, but we had the apartments too. So everybody just came across there and used all of the showers and the toilets in our apartment. And the upside to the silver rooms are that they are right next to the entertainment. So it's about 2 minutes walk to go to everything. The fair's right next to it. The Sky Park's right next to it. So location-wise, they are better than the gold apartments, as you have to walk about 10 minutes from the gold apartments to get to everything. But to be honest, it did what we needed to do, and it was £99 from Monday to Friday. So while I'm not saying yes, it should be like that, they're very, very budget rooms. So we did have the food court dining. I won't go too much into this as I've already done a whole video on it. But it was very acceptable. There was something for everyone every single night. You can't go there expecting fine dining because you're not paying for that. It was perfect for what we needed to do. And the times were 8 a.m. in the morning to 11 a.m. for breakfast. And then dinner was between 4 and 7. Now we get onto the good parts, and there was so many more good parts compared to the bad things. We were quite worried before we went, obviously, because some of the videos we saw, but the children had an amazing time. We had an amazing time, and the children are already asking if we can go back there. So swimming, that was limited when we went. It was just the toddler pool. I do think it gets fixed at the end of July. So hopefully if you're watching this and you plan on going, the whole pool will be open. But we managed to book in 3 times in the time that we were there. And the children had such a good time. There's slides, there's family slides. So even though it was just the toddler pool, there was a lot for them to do. That's all included in the price, as is this little playground. So this is the Little Stars Fun Fair. It also has a little park and a play area. And I think they said it was 10 till 5 every single day that it was open. So we went down most days. It was always so quiet. The children got onto the rides pretty much straight away without even having to queue. There's only a few rides there, but yeah, it is a little gem. And again, it is free. It is part of the package. So right next to the Little Stars fairground, you do have the bigger fairground too. This was perfect for the older children. There's quite a lot for them to go on. Not a huge amount. You're not getting like a theme park. We went to Fantasy Island on the Monday after, and it had quite a lot more there. But there was more than enough to keep them busy. And we found that our children, when every single day they would go there, whenever they had a bit of free time, they could just head down there. And again, it's completely part of the package. The waltzers were out of action while we were there. And I think it's called the Eclipse. It's like a big red one that spins you round. They both weren't working while we were there, but there was still lots and lots to do. I think our children managed to go on every single ride possible while we were there, but some of their favourites were those paratroopers just there, the dodgems, the drop tower, that kept working and not working, but they still got lots and lots of turns on it. Then they do have ones that you can pay for, so there's those bungees there just in front of you, and there's also the go-karts. They are £6 for the bungees, and then it is £7 for the go-karts. There's also lots of these little games around to make it like a proper little fairground. We found that every single time we went to go on the go-karts, it was really busy, there was a long queue, so we ended up leaving it until the very last day, and we stayed on site till 12 o'clock, and that's when we managed to fit that in. There are quite a lot of rides there. So there's the carousel, then you have that swing, a drop tower, and then there's a little boat. It's not quite like a pirate ship. It goes around rather than going like backwards and forwards. And it's quite fast. We had to go on there so the younger children could go on. They need someone over 16 to go on there. And then there's these spinny ones. Only Kiva and Sia were big enough to go on here, but again, you had to have an adult with you who's 16. There's this little train, the dodgems, the paratroopers. So there is quite a lot of choice. The children didn't seem to be bored. They went on it over and over again. So I would say just from the fairgrounds alone, we managed to get our money's worth because our children did use it a lot. And if we take them, obviously as a big family, to other fairgrounds, it costs a lot of money in tokens. Next up is the Sky Park. This is something that I wish we'd got to more. It is so good. There's something for everybody. It's really accessible for Sia. They had lots for Sia to do, and the big kids could join in too. Because of the big tower, it makes it a bit more fun for them, and even the teenagers that haven't been to a park in ages decided to go and try and go through the tunnel and get all the way to the top. It was busy both times that we went, in the morning and at night time. It just seems to be there's someone there all the time, and I can understand why, because it is a really, really good addition. This is one of the things that makes us want to go back, as there's so many things that we didn't get to do because there's too much to do to fit it into one break. So we will definitely go back. The children loved it, and they've already asked if we can book for next year, but it is a really good addition to Butlins. Next up are the shows. Again, all included in the price. We only managed to go to the circus and then the Peppa Pig circus. The circus is in a big tent, in a big circus tent, and then the Peppa Pig circus was in centre stage. We had also booked to go and watch Animals vs Dinosaurs and a pantomime, but we found that a few of the younger children, they didn't really want to sit down and watch the shows, so maybe one for when they're a little bit older. Corbin, especially at 2, he found it quite difficult to sit through them, and a couple of times Mark had to take him out. Also, the shows that are in, like the Skyline Gang and the PJ Masks, they are in the main pavilion in the Skyline, and they are so loud. Like, even for an adult, they just seem to be really, really loud, which I get because they're trying to make sure that everybody can hear them. But sometimes, even for us, it was just a bit too much. I think this helps make it suit more ages, because obviously Corbin might have been a bit too young, but the older children, they were quite happy to sit down and watch them. Maybe not the Peppa Pig circus, they weren't too impressed with me for that one, but then the younger children enjoyed that. So that's a plus point, because it just ranges from such a great age range that there's something for everybody. Also, we didn't go to any of the nighttime entertainment purely because, again, the younger children were really tired at that point, and our older children wanted to go to the arcade. They did, however, go to Bingo Bango. We went in to get some of the ones, like the bubble ones and the spinny ones, and they were halfway through a game of Bingo Bango. So they actually asked if we could go the next night. That was in Reds, and when we did go, it was so much fun. Neve and Caleb especially were up there shouting and singing and dancing and joining in, and it was definitely family orientated. It wasn't just for the adults. But again, I think that's something we would do next time. We'd probably go to more of the nighttime entertainment, as the older kids are just getting that bit bigger, and yeah, it suits all ages. But overall, you can take pictures. There was someone in the swimming taking pictures, and then you can get pictures taken with Optimus Prime. He was there. There was Peppa Pig there that you could take pictures with. PJ Masks. There was all of the mascots that you could take pictures with. We didn't do this, again, because of the queuing. You have to queue up and wait for it, and the younger children are just a little bit too young to be interested in that at the moment. Overall, I would say that it is 100% worth doing the all-inclusive at Butlins. Is it perfect? No. There's some problems with the apartments and with all areas being a little tired. But for what it lacks in that area is definitely made up in other areas. So the staff are absolutely amazing. Everywhere we went, everyone was super helpful and did their best as they could. They seemed to be working in multiple places, doing different things, and they still were always so good and so good with the kids. There is entertainment for everyone, and with the to go to a circus, it easily costs us £100. To go to the fair, it easily costs £150. So to have all of this included in one package with food and accommodation, I would highly recommend it.